G'day, I'm Andrew Maher. Welcome to The Blueprint. It's always good kicking off the show off the back of a win, and what a thriller it was on Saturday night. Today, we're talking all things Carlton. We have selected the top 6 burning issues as asked by our viewers, and I know Sellers is fired up and raring to go with his thoughts. Remember, if you want to get involved in the show, you can send in your questions via Twitter, hashtag The Blueprint. And we welcome all of those. Let's welcome the champion, former skipper of the club, Mark Maclure, and it's lovely to see you looking resplendently colourful today, Sellers.
Thank you, Andy. It's a great weekend.
It is nice to be here off the back of it, and it was a gutsy win, it was a gritty win, it was the sort of win that when you've got your backs against the wall, and there are excuses for getting knocked over, you like to see a side have.
There's no excuse for being knocked over. I just want to see the effort that they give, and I love that. And it doesn't matter if they win, lose or draw. I love McLean's game. It was sensational. Really good. Jamison on revolt was outstanding. He just stuck to his guns. Carazzo actually got hold of Cochin in the end, rolled him over, and I think that was a bonus for us. The youth injected some spirit. And I love that, the spirit that they show. And I think that Brett's actually realised now what they can bring to the side. So Bell was special.
We're going to hear from him
Bell.
Yeah.
Davies was terrific. They tried to isolate him at one stage and they let him stay there and they showed a bit of faith, and the kid would feel good about that. And I really like Casbolt's work. He wasn't great, but he contested and brought the ball to the ground. And McGuinness continues to actually improve. So I really like those kids and what they brought. 95 tackles was a special day, right up in the numbers where you're supposed to be. And I really think that they're playing for their lives.
Yep.
And I love that.
Well, I know one bloke who is definitely playing for his life is Brock McLean, and that's been well documented of recent weeks. And I kind of felt like it was fitting, Sellers, that, after the last 4 or 5 weeks that he's had, from a form perspective and the battles that he's had to get back to playing some reasonable footy at this level, that he was the one that got on the end of a lucky kick. There's no question about that. He's admitted that he wasn't having a shot for goal. But it kind of felt right that he was the one that got us over the line.
Well, it's terrific. I mean, his story is sensational for all kids who want to play football. Don't be put off. Don't ever give up. Persist until the end. And he's doing that and showing his way. Had a really good night last night too, didn't he?
Well, he did last night. We're not going to go there because the stuff that he's talked about on the couch last night with the boys is not really relevant to the Carlton Footy Club, but it is pretty interesting in a lot of respects. Is it just what are you taking out of where they're at the moment? We're going to talk. There's some questions to be asked about Brett Ratton by the listeners in a minute, by the viewers in a minute. But what are you taking just from a total overview of the group where they're at the moment? What are you taking from the last couple of weeks in particular? I'm
taking a whole change in the way they play, and the effort is enormous. They're actually sharing the load really well. I think that they're caring for each other much more. You can tell by the tackle count that it's really high. Their enthusiasm's high, and Brett's changed the way he's gone about his business, and I think he's reaping some rewards for it, and that's really good for the football club. If you make the 8 or not, does it matter?
No, I don't think
it doesn't. No, it doesn't actually matter now. What it means is that we've got a rejuvenated bunch of kids and senior players, because they were enjoying it as well. The kids have been fantastic.
They have, and one of them's Tom Bell. They brought some competitors into the mix, we know that, and Tom Bell appears to be one of them. I'll get your thoughts after we hear from him. Sellers is a bit of a man of mystery, not too much known about Tom Bell, that he's made a huge impact in a short period of time at the footy club.
It's all pretty surreal at the moment. Like, I still get a bit of a shock when I come into the club and like I'm walking with Juddy and Murph and all that. Like, it's just something I've always dreamed of as a kid. So yeah, it's all pretty surreal. I should have kicked one earlier when Eddie Betts gave me a handball right in front of goal. But my first goal, I mean, nothing can beat that. Like, it's probably the best feeling going around. I think I need to tone down my celebrations a little bit, but other than that, I enjoyed it. I ran the 15-1 beat test at the rookie draft last year, it was, but when I was in school I used to do a little bit of cross country and athletics and everything like that, and I ran a 16 flat back when I was a little whippet in school, so yeah, I'd say that's probably my record at the moment. You just got to give it 100%. Like, I mean, football careers these days aren't very long, so I just want to give it everything I've got in the time I'm here. I mean, and I'm trying to do that right now, so it's sort of paying off, I guess.
He's made a big impact in a short period of time. I know you love the way he's going about his footy.
I do love the way he's going about his footy. He plays like a grown man. In his first couple of games, I love the way he just said, like, you know, he wanted to be around Juddy and all that sort of stuff. And it's everyone's idols that you aspire to be. But let me tell you, there's some people watching him at the moment.
Yep.
The way he tackles, the way he hits the packs, you know, he's a running machine. He's tough. Wow. I actually remember watching Rory Sloane in his first game.
Yep.
And I remember watching him and saying, this kid has got absolutely all the attributes to be a great player, and he's come true. And I reckon this kid's not far off that.
You look at him now and you go, why wasn't he picked up earlier? I mean, he's got the body, and he said in that interview that you know, he sort of body developed, you know, pretty quickly. He was always a skinny kid, but then he got that 97-kilogram frame sort of from nowhere. He didn't have to work on it that hard. But you look at him, he can run. He's got pretty clean hands.
Yeah,
he's shown he's got a bit of bottle. I mean, the goal he kicked against Richmond the other night, a lot of guys would have missed that. Well, I mean, it wasn't that far out, it wasn't that tight an angle, but a lot of guys would have missed it. He went back and kicked it. There's a lot to like about him, and you wonder how they slip through the net, these guys. Some
people develop at different ages. You know, we all do that, and our kids do, and things happen. So, look, Tommy's got a great balance. You can see his balance is sensational. He doesn't fall over very often.
No.
And he's got a good footy nous, and he's got a great athlete's body too.
He certainly has. Right, time to get started with the burning issues, Sellers. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we've chosen 6 topics that have come from our viewers, and we've got 60 seconds to answer each of them. Good luck with that. Let's start with a question from Howie, and he asks, just a little Dorothy Dixer to get things going, will Brett Ratton be coaching the footy club in 2013?
Yeah, he's been contracted next year, there's no doubt about that. And the way that I think he's learned a little bit more about himself in the last 5 weeks than he had before. I think he's learned a lot more about his players in the last 5 or 6 weeks, what capacity they have. I think he's enjoying himself at the moment because, you know what, he's got a whole bunch of kids in there with good spirit. Can he hang on? Well, that won't be decided by you and I.
No, it won't.
That'll be decided by the people who run the place at the Carlton Footy Club. But he has a contract and he continues the way he is. I don't see that. I'm not certain, to tell you the truth. I'm actually just not certain.
I don't think anybody knows. I wonder whether the club can afford to sack him, or not sack him, but I wonder whether the club can afford not to honour the contract and let him coach out the terms of that contract. I think it's a big money decision if they decide to, you know, cut him with a year to go on his contract and bring a new guy in, presumably with new assistant coaches. It becomes, particularly when you see the spirit that they're playing with in recent weeks, I don't reckon the players are off him. He doesn't look like a coach who's lost his players in the last 2 weeks, in fact 3 of the last 4. They don't look like a team that's fractured between coach and players.
No, I'm not certain about all that either, but it's not about the money. It's about what's best for the footy club.
But should it be about the money? I mean, it's
never been about the money.
I know, but it should be about the money. We keep...
What do you do everything for money?
Well, I just wish... the days of making decisions without any thought of the consequence of it financially, and it shouldn't necessarily be about the money, but I reckon there's reasons for why Carlton hasn't met its pre-season stated objectives this year, and I don't know whether you can blame Brett Ratton for that.
No one is.
No. So should he pay for it with his job?
Let me tell you, the previous 6 or 7 weeks, he wasn't at his best. Let me tell you, the last 4 been terrific. So why was that lapse in the middle of the year?
Yep. Our second question is from Brenton. Do you think we need a Travis Cloke to be a true and genuine contender? What do you think of him? There's all sorts of rumours flying around about, you know, deals being done and, you know, him coming here and all the rest of it. Do we need him?
Look, he'd be handy at most clubs, but he's not the panacea to all things that are great. So, look, he kicks 5 goals every 16 games. I don't think that's up in the best in the competition. He's not $1 million player, and if you paid $1 million for him, I think he'd not be worth it. I think that there's other people around, and we're just seeing some young kids coming through that may help us. It's not about actually getting one player to fix up all the problems, because it just doesn't work.
Would it be good?
5-year deals don't work.
No, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. He's only 26. Would it be dangerous? Is there a potential downside to bringing him into the mix in terms of the development that might be going into players like Luke Mitchell, into Levi Casbolt? Could it stymie their development, or could it be a good thing for them to have somebody like Travis Cloke to observe and work off around the footy club?
We've just seen what all the injuries have brought to us, and that's really your answer. We're seeing the best of the young kids come through. They're not as special as Cloke, and they're not as special as probably Henderson, and they're not as special as some others, but you know what? They could be.
5 years, $5 million, would you do it?
No.
The next one is from Ali on Facebook. Will we be extending Brock McLean's contract? His career seemed done and dusted, but now he's playing super footy and with the true Carlton spirit. If it was up to you and you alone, and we know it's not up to us, but if it was up to you and you alone, would you be putting the contract in front of him now and saying, right, we're going to give you a rolling 1-year deal for the rest of your time at Carlton? So there you go. Would you be doing it?
He's the sort of bloke I like around the footy club. Very honest, very straight, very basic, incredibly persistent. He was gone. 12 months ago. Absolutely out the door backwards until he finished his contract. And you know what? He didn't sit there and just let it loaf by. He set a great example for everyone else that it doesn't matter where you are in the situation of life, you can actually get somewhere else. And he's done that. So he's the sort of bloke you want to keep around for a hell as long as you can.
He's great insurance, I reckon, for when one of the other ones goes down. He doesn't need to play.
That.
Yeah, I think he is too. I mean, I genuinely think he is. What people don't listen to enough is when a guy says, I had this injury issue. Yep. When he came over from Melbourne, he had the bad foot, bad ankle, and it took him 2 years to get over that. And he's admitted this is the first time in the last 2 years that he's actually felt pain-free in that area of his body. I think you need to listen to that when a player says that.
Andrew, you can't beat people with great character.
And we need
I think he's shown that. And someone who's got a voice and wants to stand up and set an example, he is perfect for that.
And we said last week on this show when we were talking to Chris Judd that it is a footy club in terms of the players that we've got that probably lacks a few extroverts. Yeah, and he's certainly one of those. Question 4 is from Timberlina. Why do we play so badly at Etihad Stadium and what is being done to fix it? It's been a few years now and there seems to be no real improvement.
I think that's absolute utter rubbish, but I think that they can play anywhere. If you've got a good team and you've got a good work ethic, you can go and play in a telephone box if you want to. It doesn't make any difference whether it be Etihad Stadium or MCG. It does not matter. It just seems to be that they have a mindset that it's wrong here. We'll change it. That's what they need to do. Get some kids in like they have and play games like they do. And actually, they don't care where they play. They love playing football. So get more in with more enthusiasm and more go forward. And I think that Etihad Stadium, you can play anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Do you think? Okay, again,
I'd love to go to the MCG because we can broaden our playing group, broaden our supporter group, no doubt. Yep. Bigger place, no problems with that. But you know what? It doesn't matter where you play.
Well, 2014, the current contract runs through until. Again, it's not up to us, but if it was up to you, come 2014, would you be having the MCC contract ready to go and sign it as soon as you possibly can, with all due respect to the good people at Etihad Stadium?
Well, Etihad and the MCG can put up a fight, see who wants to get it. It's all about commercial. And you were talking about money before, and I think that if that's the case, well, go to the best bidder. I tell you, if Etihad offered more, would you go to the MCG?
Well,
You're
it would
a commercial
depend.
Man.
I believe that you get more members at the MCG. I reckon it's a more user-friendly venue, and I reckon the 45 could easily become 50, 55 if we were at the most central venue out of them all. But so who knows? You might
interesting discussion.
It is. Justin is asking, will Jared Waite be retained, or has patience with his injury problems run out?
Well, he's averaged 11 games in the last 4 years. He's a quality player. When he plays, Carlton play very, very well. But what you've got to do is plan for him not to be there. Actually, and develop other kids. And
not
when he's there,
not
build it around him. And when he's there, it's a bonus because you don't want to let him go. You don't want to let go of quality people and quality players to other sides. What you need to do is plan for somebody else to play there all the time. And if he's there, great.
He's got 2 more years to go on his contract. He and Cade Simpson go on to the veterans list next year. So from a salary cap perspective, having him on the list is offset a little bit next year as it is with Simo. It's not as big a deal financially to have him on the list. And you know what? You knew his old man. He's a Carlton man and he loves being a Carlton man, Jared Waite.
He just doesn't play.
No, that's the problem. That is the problem. I wonder whether,
he's a good kid, though.
If he wasn't asked to play... No, it's all generally soft tissue.
You know what worries me? Why didn't they play him last week? I don't understand why he wasn't played straight in the seniors last week. Why would you play him in the reserves? Does it matter? He's a quality player.
Yeah, but don't you like the fact that they didn't? Don't you like the fact they didn't? They dropped Watson last week because there probably wasn't a match up for him. But they left McGuinness in there and they left Casbolt in there and they left Bell in there. They left some kids in there, even though they could have brought a player like Waite back into the side.
Could have played 50 minutes. It would have been better than playing 100 down there.
Our last burning issue, there's been a few of them for the show, has been asked by Claire. If we drop another game in 2012, is it time to set up for 2013? Pull up stumps if we drop another one. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, let's go home and have a little party, huh? No, I don't think so, Claire. I think it's time to actually just keep bounding away and keep pushing because these kids need more development. And the more time you can put into them in the next 6 to 8 weeks or 5 weeks, I think there is left. Let's go. If they make the finals, could be further. So I just think that you never give up. Even if it's the last game of the year, you can always get somebody. You can always improve. You can always continue to improve. And that's one of the big culture things of our football club that we should be working on. Continual improvement. Even if you think you are beaten, you still should be able to hang in there and keep fighting. And I think we should do it.
Winning games is important. Now, you made the point right at the start of the show that finals now, for a whole range of reasons, for Brett Ratton, for the footy club, for a lot of reasons, playing finals footy in 2012 should not be that important anymore.
Well, it's an issue for everybody, but the thing about it is it may not be there.
The landscape's changed, hasn't it, this year?
Has.
You know, it's changed dramatically. So
it has changed, but don't forget, these kids want to play in the finals.
Yep.
Don't take that away from them.
Yep.
They have an opportunity,
Yep.
and they've still got that opportunity. If they beat Sydney on Sunday, and let me tell you, that could happen. They may not have goods. They may not have Reid. That doesn't matter if they're there. I'd rather them play against the best players.
Yep.
That's what you want to do. You want to test themselves to keep improving. So whatever happens Sunday, happens.
It's good stuff. That's all we have time for today, but you can join Sellers and myself in the Google Plus Hangout after the show to keep the conversation going. There's a bit more to chew on. Remember, you can tweet or email us your comments and questions via Twitter, hashtag The Blueprint, or email the club with the Blueprint in the subject line at blues@carltonfc.com.au. You won't be here next year. You've got a conference
next
up
year?
north. Next week, I should say. You've got a conference next week, so you'll be gone.
I'm busy, yeah.
We've got David Rhys-Jones sitting in the co-host chair while Sellers is away. So Rhys and I will see you next Tuesday from 1 p.m.
You can go through all these reports.
We can. We haven't got enough time.
I don't think you have.
We haven't got enough time. You have a good time next week.
Cheers.
We'll see you the week after.
Thanks.
Mark Maclure joining us as he always does. Thank you for joining us as well. We'll see you the same time next week. Bye for now.